Hi, Steve Cooper, Rank Success, and today I'm going to be talking to you about promotion success from here in the UK to Ireland and yes to Kathmandu. So promotion success from here to Kathmandu. I've got some notes in front of me, so you may hear a couple of rustlings, but I wanted to make sure I cover all of this because it's about reflecting back the experiences of other people, your colleagues, your peers, your friends, people that are going for promotion processes. And today I just wanted to talk about some promotion success stories that I've received. It's just after Easter 2022, and I've had a little bit of a break with friends, family and loved ones, and I hope you managed to do that as well. And I've come back and had a whole load of results from people who've gone through promotion processes who have very kindly sent me unsolicited feedback and have given me permission to use their comments and their feedback. And so there are three inspector board candidates here, so three new inspectors or shortly to be promoted. So three inspectors and An Garda to sergeant promotion from Ireland. Interesting stories, interesting insights. And there's always a little story behind each of these. And I just wanted to kind of take some time to talk you through those, to walk you through those and get you to think and reflect about them, because to a certain extent, you know, certainly if you're aspiring for promotion, it will or may well reflect your situation and where you are at the moment. And you may well be able to pick up some useful and helpful insights and to reflect on other people's experiences. All the themes that I've talked about that I cover in my promotion guides, my downloadable digital guides, my podcasts, my promotion masterclass video, all of which you can kind of hit the ground running with straight away, are covered in this feedback. So they're addressed in this feedback or touched on. I'm just going to put my specs on a minute. I'm getting to that certain age now where I need to do it. So the issue or the theme of applying yourself and putting the effort in will come through on these success stories. And in short, if you want a recipe for success, that's it in a nutshell really, is apply yourself, put the effort in. And a couple of other themes from there: aim high and you'll hit the sky. So you'll pick that theme up: aim high, hit the sky. So if you aim for the stars, you'll hit the sky. What we mean by that is aiming to come first on a promotion process. If you're aiming anywhere else, then perhaps you're off aim, and you know, your aspiration isn't targeted where it could be or should be. So you're aiming to come first on your forced promotion process and selection process, nowhere else. It's a mindset, it's an attitude, and it's something for you to focus on. The other theme around is around giving yourself enough time. So you'll hear some people here have given themselves plenty of time, and I'll talk about people who have started their process of preparation, readying themselves to transform themselves for a promotion process months in advance. So you may want to look at that and go, well, do I have time, Steve? Ours is next week or the week after. Well, each of you will have your own experience, your own expertise, your own knowledge, and it's about trying to find out where you are with that and adjusting that for the time you've got available. So yes, you know, you can get through with less time than that, but those I find particularly women give themselves far more time. Maybe they're more organised, I don't know, I'm not going to go too far into that, but they certainly seem to take an organised approach. And by that I mean, you'll see on many of my testimonials people talking about starting the process 9 months before, 6 months before, and trying to get all their ducks in a row. So you'll find that theme through this feedback. And in one way, give yourself enough time is a message that people don't want to hear. I find a lot of cops don't want to hear it at all. They want to start preparing for their promotion process when they're ready, and any suggestion to really attack that process a lot earlier falls on deaf ears sometimes. So it's not the message that no one wants to hear, but often it's an unpopular message, and I'm the scratched record that keeps kind of jumping, if you like, to say, you know, start early to be in with a chance to improve your odds. Start early, because what you're starting to do by doing that is to raise your awareness and to develop your knowledge and to incrementally boost your confidence all the while you're working on it. And that is an iterative process over a period of time, so that when you arrive ahead of your promotion opportunity imminently, you're in a much higher state of confidence and ready to give it your best shot. And the other theme that comes up here is get help. Find help, address that issue now, even if you just get your bearings, even if you just get some links. So my site, ranksuccess.co.uk, is a place you can come to. You can get advice, tips, guidance, support. It's all free. And then if you want to make an informed decision, and by all means use the NTM to do it, have a look at one of my videos on YouTube, get yourself orientated, pick up some signposting, some direction, and then attack it when you're ready. But there is help available. There's probably more free guidance on my site that you can shake a stick at. So start there, start somewhere. But the issue, the topic, the theme of getting help, finding help, it is there, and I'm here. So these are some of the themes that you will find. And if you just, you've had enough of my dulcet brummy tones now, and you just want to say, okay, Steve, I just want to hit the ground running. How can I get on with it? You can go to the site, download a 4-hour promotion masterclass with me, suited, booted, serious head on, and I'm going to take you through a journey of everything you need to know to get yourself match fit for a promotion process, a selection process for sergeant, inspector, chief inspector, and get you in a state of readiness to give your best performance. So all of that's available for you. Those are just some of the themes that are going to surface in some of these stories here. And one of the other themes that's going to surface here as well, which I have alluded to before in previous broadcasts, is the theme of me never meeting my customers. It's quite unique really in this niche kind of promotion coaching and mentoring side, because I hope that there are enough products out there for those of you that are really decisive, that just want to say, okay, Steve, I've got the time, I've set aside the time, I just need the help, the support, the guidance. There's enough material, the right products, the right services for you there. So whether that's for your promotion application, whether it's for preparing for an interview, looking at what kind of questions you're going to be asked, what does good evidence look like, what can it look like, where can I get some really detailed examples that are at the level of the rank I'm going to, just so I can get my bearings, just so I can feel more confident with it. Well, it's all there. You can download it from my site, Sergeant's Bespoke Digital Toolkit, and a 4-hour promotion masterclass, or alternatively you can download the Chief Inspector Digital Toolkit together with the promotion masterclass video, and just hit the ground running and get yourself match fit. And of course, for those of you that do want some more questions, you've got some more uncertainty, or perhaps you just want to ask a little bit more around the process or your force's particular process, then I feel a bit like Oleta Adams. You can reach me by aeroplane, you can reach me by phone, you can reach me by email. You try and reach me. I should be contactable to you. So what I wanted to do is just go through a couple of success stories, and I've called this, I'm alluding to success from here to Kathmandu. And yeah, Kathmandu is going to come into these success stories. So that's the first one. And so when I came back from a couple of days rest, there's this issue around Kathmandu, and I'm just going to go through it now. So achieving promotion for some people can seem like climbing Everest, Mount Everest. So here's an interesting background story that incorporates Mount Everest and incorporates Kathmandu, and I was quite intrigued when I opened it up. So trekking to Everest Base Camp is not going to be a walk in the park for anyone, but if you're fit enough mentally and physically, you're more than likely to be up to the challenge. It's a hard and a tough trek at altitude and over at least 10 days. It's not a trek for tourists, and trekking to Everest Base Camp is an adventure of a lifetime, and it can be a life-changing experience for many people. So just hold that in your mind at the moment, because that's where Dan enters this process, and Dan starts his feedback to me, which was completely unsolicited and a lovely surprise to receive in my inbox. Hi Steve, we've never met. There's that theme again. Nor have we ever had any kind of dialogue, but I'm emailing to acknowledge that your videos on YouTube and the positive effect that they had on me on my inspector board. I had chosen to walk to Everest Base Camp, and shortly after booking the tickets for this, my organisation, my force, opened a promotion selection process, announcing the new CVF as being the assessment criteria. With days to go before I flew out, I had to start my promotion application form from scratch, which presented a huge challenge in itself. With just a fortnight left to go before my board, I took an internal flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara, and after finding the only hotel with reliable Wi-Fi, I locked myself in my room with only your videos, a copy of the CVF and my promotion application form for preparation. Well, there's some dedication for you. Trapped in a room in Pokhara with my dulcet brummy tones and videos. So that, yeah, there's a wry smile there for me. But the closing remarks from the superintendent who chaired the promotion panel were, I don't know how you managed to get so much information into your answers, but you managed it. I'm confident you're going to be successful in this process. Yesterday I had this confirmed, and I'm emailing to personally thank you for your guidance, without which I would have struggled. Once again, many thanks. I thought you might just like to know this, hence dropping you a line. All the best, Dan. I'll put new inspector because he will be very shortly. But what a lovely message to receive after Easter from somebody who's clearly determined in all areas of his particular life. So climbing Everest, well, there's a good parallel there with getting yourself prepared for promotion, but actually doing it and then locking yourself in a room and having to catch an internal flight to be locked in a room with my face on these videos, I did find quite funny, and I'm quite pleased to be able to share that one with you. So that's promotion from success from here, certainly, to Kathmandu, and that's the kind of feedback that I get. But that theme there of we've never met, we've never had any dialogue, that's exactly what I want to be able to be offering to you. It's what I do offer to you via my site for anybody who really wants to hit the ground running, get prepared for promotion, and doesn't necessarily want to speak to somebody. I'm approachable. You can pick up the phone, you can email me and text me, and I will respond. I'm often kind of working a couple of days ahead, but I will get back to you. I just want to make sure that you've got the help that's there. It is there. We don't have to talk. You can just download a toolkit and crack on with it. There's also a 20% discount code that's on there, which is RS Guides 20, Romeo Sierra Guides 20, all block capitals, all one word. And if you enter that at checkout, you'll get 20% off any guide or bundle or package on my site to help you prepare for promotion. Okay, so the next inspector's feedback that I got, again unsolicited, and again I've never met Ian, but Ian was there in my inbox as well with unsolicited feedback. Good morning, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you for your products, your online masterclass and your free YouTube videos. Having previously failed the inspectors boards twice, this year I passed, coming third in the force, and only dropping 2 marks. I'm delighted, but it was the structure and the depth that your products gave me to achieve that. Thank you once again. Your material and starting early enough really helped. Many thanks, Ian. So that's another one that kind of alludes to starting early enough and giving yourself enough time to become orientated to what's going to be expected of you in the process. And that's a much easier run up, if you like, to the task than trying to do it on the hoof with all the other things you've got in your life, shift work, family commitments and other commitments, climbing Everest, for instance. But Ian alludes there to having failed it twice before. Clearly, the structure and the depth that the products, and they do go into some depth. So, I mean, if you want to go, how much depth do you want to go into? So you've got particularly tailored, bespoke, detailed examples that will hit at the level of inspector, and there's some chief inspector examples in there as well. Same for the sergeant's guides. So if you really do want to do a deep dive into the detail to try and understand the CVF, you can do that. If you don't and you're busy and you're commuting to work, then there's podcasts. I've got a podcast, they're free. I get phone calls from people saying, Steve, I'm on North Devon Beach in Bude. I'm walking the dog and I'm listening to your podcast. I've just got a quick query. Could you help me out on this point? Absolutely. I've never met the people before, and but I do get to meet some customers, which is always a pleasure. So that's an example from Ian, and he kind of reminds me. I love quotes. You'll see them through all my guides and all my podcasts and blogs on my site. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So Ian wasn't lucky. He prepared, he had an opportunity, and he was able to make the fine-tuned adjustments and get it right this time. And for him, it was the structure and the depth that the products afforded him and the insights that they gave him to be able to kind of go that extra step and get promoted. So congratulations, Ian. The third one that I'm kind of sharing with you is another one from my inbox, and this individual I did meet over Skype, so we had a couple of hours ahead of her board. But hi Steve, and I've kept this one anonymous because some people are quite happy to share their feedback. I never generally mention individual forces. There's no purpose in that really. I don't mention second names, but I always ask for permission to use feedback. But where people are used anonymously, or where people elect anonymous attribution of their feedback, if you like, it's generally for, so a lot of PSNI, Police Service Northern Ireland candidates, Garda candidates may well require that because of the security situation, or in some forces it's a small force and only a few people actually manage to get through. And I'll just pose it as a question for you really. For me, there is a culture there where success is not always celebrated in policing, and some people are criticised for seeking help and support and guidance. It doesn't happen in private industry so much. If you go and get coaching and mentoring to get through a particular challenge or to get a bespoke job or role, generally most people say, well done you and all the best. Not so much, I find sometimes, which is why some people say, hey Steve, would you mark my feedback please, either with a pseudonym or anonymously please. And of course that's a minority of people, and there's an issue there perhaps for you to kind of think and reflect on about the culture that kind of suggests. May not be relevant in all forces, in all stations, but it's clearly present. As I say, it's just food for thought at the moment. So this one's anonymous, but straight to the point. Hi Steve, not only did I pass my inspector board, I smashed it and I'm over the moon. Now I love those ones. Thank you, anonymous. I know who it is, and we had a good couple of hours ahead of the process, just fine-tuning. We also spoke on the telephone in relation to the promotion application, because sometimes even though your force are presenting you with what you believe to be the authoritative paperwork, it can still be ambiguous. And that was an issue with this particular one, where advice and some guidance and some just a chance to discuss. And if I remember correctly, the issue was around whether they were asking for 2 examples on the promotion application for one section on a word limit, or was it just one? Which one would be the best way to go, and how might that be interpreted? Well, my suggestion, because I try not to give advice, I try to give suggestions and learn from previous people's experiences, and certainly from what you'll find in my promotion guides, downloadable guides, is if you get given a certain space, and it's perhaps, let's say, 500, 400 word limit, then against a competency, then one good example generally allows you to cover what you need to cover in one story. If you try and squeeze 2 examples or bits of evidence in there, you may not quite get home on both. Whereas if you just put one good 500 word example in there, you generally can, as this individual did, smash the example and get some evidence that's much more closely aligned to the descriptors, and there's lots of scope for that. So that was that query. Happens quite a lot. So it's important to read through any guidance that you get, the application form, the word limits. You've got to learn to love word limits, whether you like it or not. Not every force does promotion applications, but many still do. It is a formal test of your communication ability. No other comments around that at all. It is. It's an expectation. It's part of the process, and if your force do it, then it's a good exercise. And even if your force doesn't do it, you'll see in other videos that I say, well, even if your force doesn't require you to do a promotion application, do one anyway. Why? because it allows you to work through, think through your own evidence and your own examples, start looking to where you can recognise them aligning to the competency descriptors, and to look at whether they're at the level of the rank that they're going for. So, you know, if it's for sergeant, have you got all the right stuff in there? Are you talking about a problem, a situation, a context? You've set some context for your example. Are you talking about actions that you should be taking at the level of sergeant? And is there a result or an outcome there? Now, if you're going for inspector, all of that, but also, is it at the level of inspector as best as you can get it? Is there a level of complexity or a degree of complexity? Not to confuse anybody, but it's expected to be a good example, you know, an example that evidences some degree of flexibility in terms of what you were dealing with, the situation you're dealing with, any links to force policy or priorities. So it's just expected to have a higher degree of complexity in there. Is there an outcome in there? So yes, a result, but an outcome is a result with muscles. So how many ways does that example shine, if you like? What was good for process, what was good for the public, what was good for learning? How many ways can you develop that outcome from the example that you're relying on in your evidence? So the best thing for me really was this was short, sharp and sweet. Knowing that the individual was going for the board, to get that on the other side of the weekend was brilliant. I smashed it. And again, if you look through my testimonials from other customers, that theme, there's lots of themes that go through the testimonials to reflect people's experiences, but smashing it is a theme. You'll see lots of people use that word. I smashed it. I came first place. I smashed it. I came top in my force. I smashed it. It can't get any better than that. I love it when I get those kind of testimonials. Now, last but by no means least, this is Garda to Sergeant result. And this individual again has requested anonymity for whatever reasons. There can be lots and lots of different reasons for that. So I was really pleased to hear of this success in An Garda Sikona in a process for promotion from Garda to Sergeant. Well, at last the day has arrived where the results of the Garda to Sergeant promotion results are out, and I did it. With lots of smiley faces and celebration kind of emojis at the end. Thank you so much, Steve, for your guidance, mentoring and coaching in my quest to follow my dreams. Your digital guides and aids really focused my preparation, and I was so grateful for them. Every good wish to you and continued success. So I was really pleased to get that one, because An Garda Sikona do use a slightly different process. What I like about them is the clarity around the fact that promotion selection is a competition. It's right out there. They call it a competition, the yearly promotion competition. And I find that that's sometimes an elusive aspect for people that are preparing for promotion, because you can be good, there can be people who are better than you, but generally they promote the best. And some of the, whatever you might think about that, they promote the best from what panels can see in front of them, what they hear, what they read. They promote the best. So you can be good one year, and you may well have got through on other years, but it's this year, it's you, it's now, and you have to be the best that you can be. So getting into that mindset of the fact that it's a competition is a great mindset to get into, and that's made quite explicit in the Garda promotion selection processes. What I have got here is I've got a kind of very short summary, if you like, of the email or contact traffic. And what's interesting for me with this individual is that we first spoke on the 28th of August 2000, and that testimonial that I just spoke to you about was received on the 7th of April. On the 7th of April 2022. And that individual has gone up and down and up and down as promotion, promotion selection processes can often be a emotional roller coaster, with kind of highs of elation, as in this case, and real lows of despair and disappointment and anger and frustration and confusion, and people being bemused and confused by it. So how can you avoid all of that? get your ducks in a row earlier on, give yourself as much of a run up to the opportunity as you can. And this individual, as I say, the individual first contacted me in August 2000 and downloaded a Sergeant's Digital Toolkit, a real commitment to herself to make the effort required to start heading towards, as she alludes to, achieving her dreams of promotion. And it's a really tough process there. I'm not going to read you out all the emails, just to kind of skip through some of them though. 10th of June, obviously we had COVID in between all of this, but the thing was that as well as downloading the promotion masterclass sequentially after that to build and to supplement and complement momentum, if you like, and also this individual was studying for a degree at the time, so really busy in terms of CPD. The individual has said that, would you believe it, the authorities have completely changed the application for promotion process. So we'd already gone through and kind of drafted and had a bit of email tennis around shaping and drafting and reworking and rewording and rephrasing some of the examples in the application to get it to where it was on the old set of competencies. And then this contact on the 10th of June 2021, would you believe it, the authorities have completely changed the promotion process. Well, that's one of the lows of the promotion process. It happens. It doesn't just happen in Ireland. I've written a blog about what I call the postcode lottery of police promotion processes. They do change. The goalposts do move. It comes with the territory. You've just got to get match fit with it and try and stay as informed ahead of the process as you can. So this individual is saying that psychometric tests will now be the first hurdle in the area of critical reasoning and situational judgment. So new psychometric tests introduced as the first hurdle, the first bar, the first stage of the new process. The highest ranked candidates will then be asked to submit a competency-based application on 6 new competencies. And those competencies are evaluation, judgment and decision making, organising and managing delivery, relationships and effective communication, supervising to achieve high standards of service delivery, leading on inclusivity, diversity, well-being and resilience. Phew, there's a lot there. But if you look at those and listen to those competencies, you'll also know from previous videos I've done, I just go, plus ça change. They're the same competencies you'll face in the CVF or the policing professional framework, and that's, I found out today, that's still going, the policing professional framework, for some jobs and some lateral promotions in policing. So it's old money, old language, but all of these are the same. If you do the work and you work through, so my promotion digital guide for sergeants and inspectors, everyone who's kind of worked through that will know exactly what I'm talking about. Plus ça change. I don't care what order you put them in. New promotion selection processes just take a certain set. So a promotion framework is just a set of behaviours. So in this case, the set of behaviours are those in An Garda Síochána. Those are the values that are prominent and prioritised and expected behaviours in An Garda Síochána in Ireland. The CVF are behaviours and 6 competencies are the elements of promotion selection processes on the mainland and in Police Service Northern Ireland. And guess what? They all get changed and mixed around like a set of musical chairs in different forces at different times for different ranks. I don't know why. It just is that way. All you've got to do is get with it, get with the flow, stay informed, pick up the intelligence around it and go with it and give yourself the best run up, as I say. Great attitude displayed. Whilst I'm not put off by this new process, I was a little disappointed when I heard of it initially, as I'd done so much work for the old process. Whilst I know it's not time wasted, it feels like I now have to go back to the starting line again. And in a way, she did. And she went back with exactly the right attitude and worked out, actually, there's a lot of similarities in this. There's very small adjustments and tweaks needed to those examples, and they then align to the new examples. And you either get to work with this and understand it and pick up those insights, or you don't and it's new to you, and it can be quite hard hitting when you have to work out that you actually haven't quite worked it out, as many people do. I've kind of sent some reports to help and support, because I always send reports and resources for people who are clearly that committed from time to time, and some little snippets. Secret, if there is one, to psychometric tests is to research and understand exactly what they're designed to test, and then practice them until you're familiar and competent with them. That's exactly what happened, and the individual did really well in the psychometric tests phase, having not been experienced in them before. So did enough of that, and the first 3 psychometric tests were verbal reasoning, numerical and situational judgment. Thanks to your guidance and my preparation, I'm familiar with what these tests now entail, and I hope to do well in the same. She contacts me later on to say she did really well in them, came in the top quarter of the force, and progressed through to the competency form, which was a lot easier to prepare as a result of all the work that had been done before. And there's the positive attitude again. Whatever the outcome of this interview process, I'm grateful for you mentoring me through this process, and I really do hope I'll be contacting you soon with good news. So right up to the point just before, still that great positive attitude, that growth mindset. I can do this, I can get better, I've put the work in, and I'm actually looking forward to it. And you might see some other kind of testimonials on my site where people say, Steve, I really enjoyed my promotion board. I mean, who does that? Well-prepared promotion candidates do that, if it's possible. Okay, and then finally, the last one that I said to you, 7th of April 22, a great result. I did it, really pleased, achieved my dreams. So the point being there really is, for me, I had a couple of days off, I came back, got that influx. I'm really inspired now to kind of carry on, to get stuck in. I'm doing some more of these videos. I just thought I'd stop and do this one. It's a lovely day outside. Hopefully you can see outside my conservatory with the sun. It's a lovely day, and I read through that and I'm quite inspired by it. I mean, I'm often inspired by the success of my customers. If you look on the testimonials page, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of, I can't really fit any more on there at any one time, so you will hurt your arm scrolling through them. But the point being is, every one of them is feedback from successful newly promoted sergeants, inspectors and chief inspectors, sharing their experiences and sharing their approach and their method, their strategy, if you like, for approaching promotion processes, and some of them more than once. So you'll see people on there that have gone from sergeant to chief inspector over the last few years that I've been doing this. So just to finish off with, you can hit the ground running straight away. Go online onto ranksuccess.co.uk. You can download the digital toolkit for sergeant promotion selection processes. Get yourself informed about what you will be expected to do, to write, to say. And same for inspector and chief inspector at slightly different levels. There's lots of free blogs, there's lots of free podcasts, there's free downloadable guides, there's free YouTube videos on my channel, all to do with the CVF competencies and values. I'm trying to put as much out there as I can to give as many of you that run up as possible. There's a discount code at any one time, 20%. I wish you all the very best if you've got a promotion selection process coming up. For all of you that got through your exam recently, have a look at a couple of the blogs I've done. You're through your exam, now what? There's a whole approach and mindset to start off now. So wherever you are on your promotion journey, I wish you all the very best, and I will be back with another broadcast in the near future. Until then, take care and stay safe.